Welcome back to Winning Isn't Easy. Let's finish this puppy. All right. Mistake number 22, lawsuits or disciplinary action. Now, if you are a professional, you can be assured that they're going to ask you questions about whether or not you've had any disciplinary actions, and they will do an investigation of your background. They want to see if you've had any kind of disciplinary actions that would impact your ability to practice. Now, many times a disability carrier will argue that your disability is associated with your disciplinary issues. In other words, you can't work because you have licensure issues. Now, they also may argue that you're having personnel issues with your employer. They'll argue that you're a disgruntled employee who's decided to file a disability claim because of personal or personnel issues or professional issues. They also are going to get a copy of your personnel file from your employer, and they're entitled to it. You need to be truthful about any disciplinary action and any lawsuits. I can assure you that they're also going to do a records search. There's an index service that can be used to determine whether or not you have filed any kinds of lawsuits. In fact, even whether you've had an auto accident, a workers' compensation claim, a slip and fall. Here in the Southeast, it's called the Southeastern Index, and it is used by disability carriers to determine if you've been involved in any kind of accident or injury or lawsuit. They also will do a civil and criminal check in the area that you live. So they will be looking for criminal activity, arrests, DWIs. They'll be looking for lawsuits, including divorce lawsuits. That can be crucial because there's nothing worse than a disgruntled former spouse who wants revenge and who will be more than happy to torpedo your disability claim. So you need to be truthful about that, but you also need to be cognizant that that can come back potentially and bite you. So you need to make sure that, again, you are truthful, because if you're not truthful, they're going to jump all over that, and they're going to use that as a weapon. And of course, if any of that is relevant to your ongoing medical condition, you need to be truthful with your doctor. So if you've been involved in a prior auto accident and had a herniated disc, had surgery, but recovered and went back to work, then the doctor should know that, and certainly should know why you are now claiming you're disabled. Have you had a new accident or injury? Has your condition gotten worse? If so, how has it gotten worse? So remember, you need to be clear about that. Now, just as an aside, I know that information about disciplinary actions can be confidential, and I want you to make sure that you're not violating the confidentiality requirements by giving the disability carrier more information than you're legally allowed to disclose. And if that is the situation, I would be consulting with anybody who had represented you earlier in any disciplinary action to get their legal advice as to what it is, if anything, you should be disclosing. Mistake number 23, work accommodations. Now, you may still be working and are disabled, and you're going to be asked whether or not there have been any accommodations made by you or your employer. Are you working from home? Have your hours been reduced? Do you have any special equipment? Are there changes that can't be made to help you do your work? Do you have good days and bad days? Can you do a sustained activity with these accommodations, or do you have to pace yourself? Now, all of these are important, and part of this ties back to what's in your disability policy, because sometimes there are disability policies that will evaluate your disability based on whether or not accommodations have been made or could be made. And you need to know that before you stop working and apply for your benefits. If there are accommodations being made, you need to be able to document what they are, how the accommodations are impacting your ability to work, and the fact that you are still having ongoing problems. And in fact, you may want to be documenting them in your personnel file or any reports to your employer as appropriate. And again, you want to keep copies of these emails, particularly as it relates to accommodations, because ultimately there might be an issue in terms of accommodations that could give rise to employment law claims, which can in part be inconsistent with the disability insurance claims. And if that happens and you are consulting with an employment lawyer and you're considering applying for disability, that certainly is the time where you definitely also want to have a disability attorney and have both attorneys be consulting with each other. Because as I said, there can be some inconsistencies between claims for failure to accommodate and discrimination and a disability insurance claim. And so we want to be coordinating all of that with the employment lawyer, so we're not filing contradictory claims. Mistake number 24, personal and financial information. Now, they're going to be topics. One of the topics is going to be your education. What's your highest level of education? When did you get that? Why? Because when the definition of disability changes from own occupation to any occupation, they're going to have their vocational evaluator look at your education and determine whether or not you have any skills that would transfer to other occupations based on your education. They're going to ask questions about finances, and that can include such as things as workers' compensation. Are you getting workers' comp benefits? Are you getting any other settlements or payments as a result of an automobile accident? Why? Because one, they want to get all the medical records, and two, they have the ability to offset or reduce your benefits by the receipt of that income. Are you getting disability income from any other source? In other words, do you have another disability insurance policy? Now, you might, and it's really crucial that you have all your disability insurance policies, because some of these policies will say, we won't pay you benefits if you're getting disability benefits from another carrier. Whoa, you didn't know that, did you? But you need to know that again before you stop work and apply for benefits. And that can be problematic because, by the way, both disability carriers might also have the right to offset not only the benefits you're getting from them, but Social Security benefits or other income that you're getting. So there can be a double whammy offset. Business income. I represent a lot of doctors, lawyers, CEOs, CFOs, and I will tell you, business income is an issue. Have you received any income from any company, store, person, business, self-employed business that includes money, barter, or remuneration? Do you have an interest or income in any business? Let me tell you how that torpedoed a case involving a Wells Fargo highly paid executive. He made almost $500,000 a year, and he claimed that he was disabled and unable to work. He disclosed on his ADL form that he was trading, I think, sports cards on eBay. Well, guess what he didn't tell them? He and a partner had started to invest in a sports complex in the tri-state New Jersey area. They actually bought 22 acres. They hired people to help set up this training facility for baseball and soccer. They took out I think, $11.5 million loan. And worse yet, this policyholder was with his lawyer at 3 zoning hearings on rezoning a land that they bought. And the carrier got the videotape of the zoning hearings. And this guy didn't move at all during the course of these hearings. And he alleged he had a back injury. Well, of course, they discovered all of this when they did their licensure check. They did a property real estate check. They did a corporation check. And guess what? Not only did it come back to bite them, his claim was denied. It went to federal court. The judge said, really? You lied on your activity of daily living form? Why should anybody believe anything you have to say? And worse yet, because this was in New Jersey, I'm pretty darn sure that this case got referred to the Department of Insurance fraud unit. And I will tell you, in New Jersey, they are pretty aggressive about insurance fraud. So you can see that there are consequences here. They're going to ask questions about pension. Did you receive any pension or any other type of retirement benefits? Why? Offsets. We talked about Social Security, offsets. And as I've explained before, you need to understand that there are indexes in the United States. These indexes keep track of every other claim you might have filed. if you've been in an accident, auto accident, slip and fall, workers' compensation, filed any kind of claim, they can find it and they will find it. And they're going to use it to argue, one, that you're lying, that you're fraudulent, you're not believable, your doctor's opinions are not believable because you lie about this and you lie about everything else. And ultimately, they can suggest that you are committing fraud. Now, this also can be an issue that arises if you have what's called a residual disability claim. So you're entitled to benefits, you're losing income, you're a professional, you're not making as much, and you are filing monthly residual disability claims. You need to understand what the term business income means, because that can destroy your claim. I've seen claims destroyed because the applicant didn't know what they were entitled to in terms of their long-term disability benefits and the residual calculation. I'm involved in a case right now where one policy is defining business income as income that is received in the month in which you're claiming benefits. I have the other policy talks about, we don't care when you got paid, we want to know when the service was performed. Now, two different policies, same professional, same disability, but the method of calculation is different. And we want to make sure that we understand the definition of business income and that we are reporting it accurately. You can see, again, lots of traps in these activity of daily living forms. So let's take a break before we close out this mini-series, all right?
Are you a professional with questions about your individual disability policy? You need the Disability Insurance Claim Survival Guide for Professionals. This book gives you a comprehensive understanding of your disability policy, with tips and to-dos regarding your disability application that will assist you in submitting a winning disability application. This is one you won't want to miss. For the next 24 hours, we are giving away free copies of the Disability Insurance Claim Survival Guide for Professionals. Order yours today at disabilityclaimsforprofessionals.com.